Hey, welcome to Afterthought, episode 2, season
2.
Season 2, episode
6, right? 6, yeah. Got the confirmation.
I'm glad Faith is in a much better mood this week. I looked over and she was smiling.
It's because she got the Starbies right there.
She does. You know why she's in a good mood? You should see Taylor Swift all weekend.
Yeah,
you know.
She's going to Tokyo.
The Swifties. Oh my gosh, I wish she had a mic right now. Dude, huge week.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
I'm going to jump right in.
Let's do it.
Do you like to karaoke?
Do I like to karaoke?
Yep.
No.
If you did, what would be your favorite karaoke song to sing?
Tennessee Whiskey.
I don't even know that song. Is it country?
It's Chris Stapleton, yeah.
Can you sing any of it right now for us?
I can't. I told you I don't like karaoke.
Can you sing
You know this song, though.
How's it go?
You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. No?
Have you heard this song?
It is a very popular song. Everyone knows it.
It's like a wedding song.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to watch the
That's
playback
crazy.
so I can hear the song.
It's a great song. Okay.
Sing it
Good
right now.
listen.
Sing it right now, bro.
I can't. I would do Chris.
Okay, I'm asking my second
the
question then, because
justice.
this is all tied in.
Tied in. Okay.
Your least favorite genre of music?
I don't know. What genre is Taylor Swift?
Ow! She's her own genre. There's rap, hip hop, rock, and then there's Taylor Booty. It's in the same.
I would say, isn't like indie like its own thing?
Faith is checking her pulse right now.
I'm not a fan of that.
Indie rock?
Yeah.
Indie like underground?
Yeah.
Like
Or like EDM. It's a no-go for me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I pretty much like most genres of music, though.
Dude, I'm so into lo-fi right now.
I like lo-fi.
Lo-fi hip-hop. I'm so into it right now.
Yeah.
When I'm like in the office working and stuff like that. Mom loves lo-fi. She's like that. She loves it. Look at her right now. She's bobbing her head right now. She's so into it right now. Look, see, she loves it. That's our new jam right now.
That's what it is.
As soon as we get home, we go, Alexa, play lo-fi hip-hop. We cook dinner to that. It's amazing.
I like it.
Questions for me. Go.
Okay. What are your top 3
Oh, gosh.
favorite, like, historical places that you visited?
Top 3 most historical?
Yeah.
George Washington's house. What's that name?
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon.
Yeah. That's great.
The best. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ford's Theater.
Oh, okay.
Because they have Ford's Theater exactly set up how it was when Lincoln got shot.
The blood stains and everything.
Well, no, but when you go down below in the basement, they have like his suit he wore that night and everything.
That's
you remember
cool.
that? We went.
I don't remember that. If I'm being
Remember?
honest. I wish.
And
I
it has to be
remembered
like
it,
the
but I
lights have to be dark down there to preserve the suit.
don't. Dang, that's intense.
And third, I know that Colonial Williamsburg is not a historical place.
I counted it. I figured you would say it.
Dude, I love Mom and I met a dude at the family dinner the other night. Him and his wife got married at Colonial Williamsburg, which
That's pretty cool.
we're going to renew our vows there. And we're going to dress up like 1776.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other one I thought would be on the list was Wormslow.
Oh, Wormslow Plantation. Give me
Wormslow's
a top
great.
4, you son of a gun.
Wormslow's
Dude,
pretty
just
cool.
Savannah in and of itself.
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia, Ben, need to go. Unbelievable.
It's good.
If you haven't been, you need to go.
All right. My next question.
Okay.
I guess the last question.
Okay.
What is your favorite commercial jingle of all time?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
JT. Can't go wrong with Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that McDonald's?
Yeah, that's McDonald's.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Favorite jingle of all time, honey? Favorite commercial jingle of all time. The other one that pops in my head is to all beef patty special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Honestly, that's where I thought you were gonna go with it.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say that, and everyone's gonna be like, "Huh?"
Yeah. But what's babe? What's your favorite commercial jingle of all time that you can't get out of your head? It's tough.
She's
for her.
thinking. She's
tough for her.
thinking.
She's
Mm.
Faith.
O'Reilly.
Auto parts. Yeah.
Yeah. How about this one? I want my baby back, baby back, baby back,
I
baby
want
back.
my baby. Yeah.
Chili's baby back ribs, barbecue sauce. Remember that one?
Yep, I do.
Mm.
Trying to think what else. Stanley Steamer is your home cleaner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Call 1-800 Steamer. Stanley Steamer. Is that it?
The pause is in there too. It's supposed to be a 30-second commercial, but it
You like
ended up
that?
being 45 with the pause. Yep.
All right. Those were great questions.
Oh, and the Kit Kat one. That
What's
one's
that
my
one?
favorite. Give me a break.
Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. How many of these do you think Faith is going to cut out?
All of them.
I don't know if you heard this, but she did let me know today that typically our podcasts are like 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
She cuts out you and I laughing. She says nobody wants to hear you and I laughing.
I won't
Which
disagree.
You agree? I disagree. I think that we would get more viewership if all it was for 10 minutes of you and I going, that would gain viewers like, dude, when I watch
Yeah.
back the replay,
It's not as funny.
no, because
I
we're.
know you laugh at yourself when you're watching.
I do actually. I'm on the chumma going, I'm so funny.
That was so good.
I'm like, oh my gosh, hope Teresa's watching right now. She'll think I'm so hot. So, Faith, don't cut out any laughing
Yeah.
this time because we're hilarious.
See how it goes. We'll see how it
Do
goes.
you hear Teresa laughing in the background?
Yeah.
I heard little Teresa laugh. I got Faith, though, one time today already. Mm-hmm. See?
Already. That's a good sign.
Let's go.
Like you said, it's a good day. Okay.
Question number one.
Question number one. This weekend, we talked about God stretching us.
Yep.
So why is it so important that God stretches us?
Okay, so think about it like this. One of the things I hate to do before I work out is stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Teresa and I stretch every morning before we go on the treadmill, and we hate it. But what I recognize is you're more prone to injuries without stretching. Stretching will absolutely help you grow the muscle and keep you from injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you hate it, it's got some good benefits to it. I can tell when I'm not stretching, and I can tell when I have stretched. I've had injuries. I've been sidelined because of not stretching. And so I would say the same thing spiritually speaking is as much as you hate to be stretched, stretching is so good for you to keep you from being sidelined and to keep you from it's maybe to keep you protected, to keep you open, to keep you sharp. So even though the last thing in the world you probably want to do is stretch yourself spiritually speaking, it's probably the best thing to do for you is to stretch yourself spiritually speaking, to keep you ready and available and flexible to be called when God calls you.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
That was deep. That was deep right there. That was like boom. You like that?
I do. It makes me think of just the saying "bend, don't break." And
Yeah.
There's no way to bend if you're not flexible.
Yeah.
If you bend, you have the lesser tension. You're still going to break sooner. So you need to make sure that you're gaining flexibility,
Right.
to say, so that when something does come your way, you're not going to break immediately.
Well, and what if God's calling you to do something right now that at the end of the day is not the end result? It's just to get you to the end result, but he's got to stretch you first in a season so that you'll accept the next season.
Yep.
And, Mom and I have had that before in ministry careers where it's like you're in a season where you're like, man, I don't love this season. But then you look back on it and go, that was just preparation. That was just the stretching for the next season. So like you may be in a season right now in life where you're just like, man, this is miserable. I hate this. But maybe this season right now is just a stretching season. It's not end result where you'll be season, but God's got to stretch you to get you to the next season. And that's what he did to Moses. He just was stretching Moses in what he asked him to do. I'm not available for this. Well, you're going to be available. I can't speak. Well, you're going to. I can't, everything was stretch. So, think about it in your own life. Have you had those times where you're like, God had you in a season where you can look back on it now and go, oh, that season was just a stretching time for me,
Yeah.
a growth time for me. And I think that same thing happens, all the time. If we don't think about it, but if you were to actually contemplate it, you'd probably go, oh, okay, I know now.
Yeah. I mean, would you say it's possible to run away from being stretched, or will it always happen?
Yeah. Okay. Like, let's go back to the stretching. In the morning when I'm stretching my legs before I know, like, I need to go down probably for a count of like 20, right? To stretch your leg to get the best stretch. And the longer you stretch, the further down you go. But I don't want, like, maybe I'll just go to 10. Right. And so, but if you just go to 10, you're probably not getting the best stretch you can get. And I would say, I bet a lot of people probably give up in the stretching before they actually achieve the flexibility they need for the next step in ministry or the next step of the call. So it's like you're giving up too fast when you're so close.
Yeah.
Like you could have been stretched a little bit further, and it's in that stretching a little bit further that would have taken you further. But because you just give up after 10 seconds, you're like, man, but it's the extra 10 seconds that would have got you to where you needed to be. So I would say stretching is painful, but stretching is powerful. So in the pain, know that there's a purpose of the pain. The purpose of the pain is to make you more powerful eventually in the main outcome.
Yeah. No, that's great. So with that being said,
Yeah.
when so many people give up, how can you stay motivated when it seems like things either aren't going your way, or when things seem stagnant, or it just seems like you're not gaining any ground?
I think the best thing to do is look at the positive in every scenario, which a lot of people are. I am a glass half full person. A lot of people are glass half empty people. I am a glass half full person. I'm always looking at the positive. You can get so burnt out sometimes and frustrated in your ministry career, your life career, your relationship, business, whatever it is, financial. You can get so burnt out that you can't ever seem to find the positive. But I would say look for the positive. Like everything God did to Moses was flip everything on its end. Moses is like, I'm not prepared. God's like, I'll go with you. I can't speak. God's like, I'll be your mouthpiece. I'll send Aaron. I don't have any tools. You have a staff. The staff didn't do anything. Becomes a snake. So it's every single time Moses is like, I can't. God goes, you can, but I can't, but you can, but I can't, but you can. And so I think every time you have those moments of getting weak or frustrated, going, I don't know if this is working. Just go, okay, God God is doing something. God is moving. It's so funny. And, just as before the podcast, I was in my car just praying. And, I'm in that season where it's like, dude, every time I feel like we get a little like ahead, it's like something happens, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh. But I know that God has a purpose. God has a plan. And I could get so focused on the setbacks that you don't see them as setups. And I think that, if you're in a season of life where you're just like setback after setback after setback after setback, maybe the thing you got to do is realizing the stretching of the setback. It's like, okay, think about a slingshot. You got to, the further you pull it back, the further it's going to go. Like the further the rock or the stone or the pebble is going to go. So you might be feeling like you're being stretched way far back, but that just means what's going to come out will be so much further than you had intended, because the stretching going further back will catapult you further forward.
Yeah, no, I love that you put the point in there where you were like, you don't need anything extra to get started.
Yeah.
God's going to use what you have.
Yeah.
And I think you can look at it like when you're about to propose to someone, you're like, I have to get my life in check. I need to get my finances right. We need to have a house, blah, blah, blah. Like all these things in order before you can ever pop the question.
Right.
But that's not the truth. I mean, Marissa and I, when I asked her to marry me, we didn't have any of those things in order, but we knew we'd get through it because we knew we trusted each other. We knew we were going to get through it. We knew God had us. So at the same time, like, you're probably thinking, God can use me if I have this, if I get started here, if I do this, if I get these right things in order, if I jump into church, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's not the truth at all. God can use you right where you are. So don't make all these hypotheticals where God can use me in the future if I get this, and this.
Right.
No, get started now. Like, God's wanting to use you. You just need to accept it.
Well, and I think so many people, go back to the life of Moses. God didn't say, Moses, I want to use you, but first I'm going to need you to get your AA. I need you to get your master's degree in leadership. I need you to preach about 6 times. I'm going to need you to lead on the worship team, go on a mission trip to Zimbabwe, and then to be ready to go. And I think sometimes we think there's all of these prerequisites to the call of God. I think the prerequisites are faith, obedience, and surrender. That's it. Like when we started Anchor Church, Mom and I started Anchor Church, it's like we have friends that were starting church, And they were starting church years before we ever said we're going to start church, right? And after we started Anchor, they were still like a year away from launch. I'm like, what the heck happened? I think there's like, and people may look at us and go, what you guys did was ignorant. Like you just, you had no money. You just were like, let's just build church, right? And we started church in like 3 months. And other people could go, well, you don't have an organization? No. You don't have any money? No. What did you have? Obedience, faith, and surrender.
Yeah.
And I think those are the prerequisites that God looks for. Not that we weren't wise in how we did it. We just knew we had to be obedient to do it. And sometimes I think we can over-contemplate instead of over-obeying.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people are just processing. We have a friend of ours, that I'm sure he's probably listening right now. He's over-processing. Like, what do we do? What's God going to do? And I'm like, that's not our job. Like, it's not our job to figure out what he's going to do in a year. Our job is to figure out what he's asked us to do now.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get so caught up in, man, what do we do? What do we do, God? He's like, I've just asked you to be obedient, trust, have faith, and surrender, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. We overthink it.
Yeah. So, kind of going off of that, when for a person who overthinks, like myself, overthinks every scenario, wants to have everything planned out and follow everything to that plan, how can you live life, adapt to life when you just know you have to accept God's plan?
Dude, I think that's one of the hardest things. I mean, I'm an overplanner. I'm an overprocessor. I talked about this last week, but we're in that season right now of like our economy and our world is crazy. We're building, all these things are happening, and giving a slowed down. Like, okay, what do you like? All these things happen, and so I can lay in bed and just stress myself out over it, which I do.
Yeah.
Or I could go, God, you're in control. And every single day, I would bet you probably 46 times a day, I go, God, you're in control. And so what I think is it's a constant reminder that God's in control.
Yeah.
It's like Abraham laying Isaac on the altar. Abraham laid Isaac on the altar and did not pick him back up. I have laid I've laid Isaac on the altar and picked him up 36 times a day. It's like, here you go, God, you just take it. No, I'm just kidding,
Yeah.
And I think we do that all the time. I think the true faith, the true obedience, the true surrender is putting whatever it is on the altar, the finances, the marriage, the relationship, the business, whatever the difficulty is, going, God, I trust you, I surrender it to you, and that's it. I say, God, I trust you, I surrender you, and then look at the bank account again. God, I trust you and surrender you, and then I wonder what's going to happen. And God, I trust you and surrender, but how can we make more money? I trust you and surrender you. But so I overthink like you. So I'm like, God, I gave this to you, and you didn't solve it in 3 seconds, so I'm going to need to take it back because I'm not. And I think that that's just human nature. And so I would say for those of us out there that overprocess, overthink, are over independent, I think we need to learn how to be more codependent and just go, and I'm preaching to myself, but I just know it's a constant for me. It's not a one time, God, you're in control. And I know there's other pastors that would probably say, Sean, what's your problem? I'm human. And so I just overthink it, overprocess it, and I try to over-control it. But the best thing you can do is to be codependent on God and just trust him. And the outcome's the outcome.
Yeah.
And let it be. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done for sure.
But I think it's a constant reminder.
Trust is one of the things that is so difficult to do in life because, I don't know, I feel like from birth, it's so easy to just think the only person you can trust is yourself, especially if you've been wronged in any way, shape, or form. But the one person you can trust over and over again is God because he's never failed you before. He's never going to fail you ever. And that's why I love that you brought up the Abraham and Isaac story. The one theory that I love is Abraham was going to do it. He was going to sacrifice Isaac. And it's not because he was just going to do it because he didn't like his son. That's not it at all. He was doing it because he knew that God loved him enough to bring Isaac back.
Right.
That's one theory that I love. Like he's like, I have the faith that God's not just going to promise me a son and then take him away from me. I have faith that if he does take him away, he'll give him right back to me. So
amazing.
Maybe some of you guys right now are thinking like, I can't surrender my life because I don't think I'm going to get it back. Yeah. Well, you probably won't get your life back. You'll get a much better life.
100%.
Back. So,
and I think about it like this, bud. Like I think like think about it in your, okay, let's go back to the finances aspect of it. Like, cause that's where I am right now. We're one day away. We're one gift away. We're one from going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Breath of fresh air.
Isn't that bad?
It's not that bad. I think remind yourself that like you're 1 minute away. You're one from a phone call that'll change your life. You're one paycheck away from a raise that's going to impact you're one, like it's just so close, right? It's so close. And I think that we see it as being so far away, but at the end of the day, the supernatural, the power of God is he can change it in an instant.
Yep.
And so we see it as, will it ever change? Will it ever change? Will it ever change? God can change in a second. So maybe what's keeping him from changing it in a second is that we haven't changed yet our perspective that he has it.
Yeah.
And so I think once we completely hand over control, then God goes, okay, now you've actually given it to me. And you've meant it when you gave it, so now we're good to go.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a constant reminder that at any point in time, it can change. So God, change it, And I've gotten more bold in my prayers. Like, God, change it now. You can do it. Change it now. Mm-hmm. The stuff that Mom and I've been praying for, oh my gosh, 18, 19 months, and God hasn't delivered yet. But that doesn't mean I don't believe he will. I believe he will. It's in his time. But I'm still praying for him, believing for it,
Is when you pray those bold prayers, is there a fine line between challenging God, like, God, I know you can do this, will you do it for me type thing, or is it just praying those bold prayers is okay in faith?
Dude, I feel like God knows my heart anyway, and so if he already knows my heart, I might as well tell him what's on it. Like, I look at David, man. If you look in Psalms, David's like, kill him, God. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, God, you know that guy down the road? Just could you wipe him out? And it's not like David even somehow like makes it PG. David's like, kill him, God. Just freaking kill him. I'm like, whoa. And so, but that's when the Bible says that David was a man after God's own heart. I think that means that David knew God in such a way that he knows I can just talk to him. He loves me and he knows my heart anyway. But David was also very loving. And so I think in my prayers, I'm like, man, God, I want you to bless us. And so I've been more bold in my prayers, like, God, bless us as a church. Bless us as a family, bless our marriage, bless my kids, bless you and Marissa, bless our staff. So I'm probably more bold in my prayers now of asking God because he knows my heart anyway. And shame on me if the ask is for selfish reasons. It really isn't. It's selfless for the church, but I have been more bold to ask big prayers because he knows my heart anyway.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't hurt to ask. Because like you said, God already knows your heart. Yeah. Just because you ask doesn't mean it's granted to you, but if you don't ask, it's definitely not going to get granted. You know what I mean?
Well, look at Joshua asking for the sun to stand still.
Yeah.
Hey, Lord, make the sun stand still, not so that we're known, but so that you're known, so that so everyone knows that you're the God of Israel, that everyone knows that you're the God that, and it was the wrong prayer because everyone knows like the sun doesn't stand still.
Right.
It was the wrong prayer, but because the earth, right, the earth is moving, right? So his prayer was, sun, stand still, but God's like, I know what you mean. So the wrong prayer, but the right heart. The wrong scientific prayer, but the right supernatural heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's what God's looking for in us is maybe it's not the right prayer, but man, it's a bold prayer. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. The last thing I had for today was, could you give us a couple examples of miracles that could just encourage the people at home who seem like they're probably in the middle of a storm right now and there's no way out?
Yeah. A couple come to mind. One is Mom, just, we were laying in bed last night talking about, just all that happened to her. Like, we don't even know. Like, we still don't even know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of trippy to her. Maybe kind of trippy to us. And we were talking about last night, like, will this ever happen again? Will it ever come back? And the doctors basically have said, no, it's kind of a weird thing. That being said, they're not us. So it's like easy for them to say, no, you're fine. But it's one of those things that, we were talking about last night. And I said, we're going to claim the miracle in Jesus' name. We're not going to go, man, Jesus, you did a miracle. Hopefully it stays. No, you did a miracle and we're going to claim the miracle. We're not going to, and so that's one of those things where I'm just like, we completely saw a miracle.
Yeah.
The swelling in Mom's brain, typically, it should be at what, babe? It should be at a 5. Hers is at 150. She should have died. Her brain should have melted. Even when she came from the hospital, it's still 110.
Yeah.
If 5's normal. So the doctors are saying, like, she's been at the hospital now, what, babe? 8 weeks, maybe? No, maybe 8 weeks. And they said, like, baseline, she'll get back to normal by 6 months. So there's still obviously decrease in swelling. But miracle, obvious miracle. I don't know, a lot of people know Marie on our staff. I prayed for her 15 years ago. She had thyroid cancer. Prayed for her that she was completely healed of cancer. I have seen miracles. I've seen people prayed for. I've seen kids healed. So I would say those are some personal examples of some things that I've seen that I'm just like, wow, God, you can. So because I have seen that, because I have seen miracles happen, I do believe for more miracles to happen. And that doesn't mean, I know when Mom was in the hospital, our prayer was, God, heal her, heal her. But at the end of the day, I remember praying, but God, whatever happens, I will never stop serving you. I will never stop worshiping you. I'll never stop loving you. But I'm believing for a miracle. And I think he's looking for that resilience. I think he's looking for that heart. I think he's looking for us to say, God, you can do a miracle. And even if you don't, it's not that you don't have the power to. It's not you don't have the desire to, but we want your will to be done. And so whatever does happen, I'm still going to serve you in spite of it. So there are miracles happen. And I would say just another miracle is like, dude, look at your life.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that I think about when I get to heaven, I'm not going to ask God. I mean, there's a lot of questions I want to ask God. Right? Was Jesus in, the fiery pit with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Was it, of all the questions I want to ask him, I would just go, why me?
Yeah.
Like, I know me. Like, I know I want to please people. I know I'm nervous every time I get to preach every single Sunday. You want people to love the sermon. You want people to go, great job. Like, all those things you have internally that are so psycho. God, why choose me? And, why does he choose us? He loves us. Yeah. So, I look at my life and go, that's a miracle, that Teresa's alive, that we're together, that, look how God, like, Levi wouldn't be here if we wouldn't have started Anchor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think you wouldn't have met Marissa. They're like all these things, guys, just like, but Teresa's mom giving her heart to Christ that first night that we started Anchor. All those things we prayed for 20 plus years that we might not have seen happen had we not started Anchor. And God just goes, I need you to do this first because I've got about 30 other things that are going to happen when that happens, but I need you to obey that first. And so I think that's the miracle of it. The miracle in the obedience, the miracle in the faith, the miracle in the surrender is God goes, just watch and see what happens next. And that's the miracle.
Yeah, for sure. I think there might be some of you at home right now who are trying to find a miracle out in the world, trying to solve things yourself, solve problems yourself, going to numerous different places to try and figure out some answers when really the only thing you need to be doing is going to Christ.
Yeah.
You think that miracles don't exist for you. You think that miracles are only biblical or they're happening to other people, but they couldn't happen to you. And that's not true. That couldn't be further from the truth, We have a God who loves everyone, who loves you and wants the best for you as well. So all you got to do is trust him, put your faith in him. Put everything that you have in him, completely surrender, and that's when you're going to see some real movement.
Because I think God will bless the faithfulness. He really will. He'll bless the faithfulness.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Good episode.
Yep.
How'd you feel, Teresa? Felt good? Great. Faith,
got a thumbs up.
Happy? Matthew, happy?
3 thumbs up.
Oh, my
Man,
gosh.
We're going to Hollywood.
All you Swifties out there.
Good luck.
Good luck. Have a great week, everybody. See you next week. Well, hey, everybody. We hope you loved this episode of Afterthought. If you did like it, make sure you can comment. Let us know your thoughts. Share it with a friend. Hey, we're dropping new material every single Wednesday.
Yeah. We know you like the video, so leave a like and subscribe because, like you said, we're going to have a video coming every Wednesday. Turn on those notifications so you know when it comes out. You can check it out.
See you next week.